Hello, and welcome back to the channel, and welcome back to a brand new movie review. Well, it's a rewatch for me. And the only reason I actually decided to rewatch this recently, because I am not definitely not filming this on the 5th of July when this is due out on the 21st. Definitely not doing that. But yeah, so the only reason I actually rewatched it, obviously you can tell by the title of the thumbnail. I've rewatched Transformers the movie, 1986's Transformers the movie. And the reason why I actually went and sat down to rewatch it just a few days ago is because I picked up this DVD of the reconstructed edition of the movie. And I wanted to see what was really reconstructed about it. Um, and mainly because like the artwork on this is fucking amazing. I love it. That's what drew it to me as well. Plus, as well, I've seen this movie. I remember watching it as a kid. I just can't remember what got me into Transformers because I do remember watching G1 Transformers quite a bit. But obviously, I was born in '98, so I didn't grow up in the '80s with G1. Clearly, because I was barely even a speck in me father's ball sack. But I do remember, the reruns in the early 2000s on some different channels that I got to watch it on. So I can't remember if it was a different Transformers show that got me into Transformers or if it was actually the G1 reruns of the early 2000s. Because then I do remember as well one very, very young. I think it would have been in like 2001, 2002, maybe. Um, no, it's definitely 2000, 2001, where me and my mother had gone up to Blanchardstown. And I remember seeing this and, the movie, and she bought it for me on DVD or VHS, whichever one it was, I can't remember. But I do remember physically going into a store and having my mother buy this for me because I wanted to see it. And I watched it and I loved it and I would constantly rewatch it. So that's why as soon as I seen it, that brought back all those childhood memories of, watching G1 Transformers, watching this movie, and falling in love with it. And so, yeah, that's why I picked it up. And it's been a hot minute since I actually last rewatched this film. And so I decided to sit down and do just that. And the fact that it's this reconstructed version, what does that mean, reconstructed? Well, when I open it up, it includes a little booklet, and the booklet explains exactly what it is reconstructed. So on the very first page, it says just that. So it says, welcome to the special DVD edition of Transformers the movie, reconstructed. In this booklet, as well as giving you some background on how we put together our special edition, we also hope to give new fans a quick insight into the ever-growing world of the Transformers fanbase. Since its release in 1986, the movie has taken on status of cult classic, whether it's the incredible vocal cast of Orson Welles, no less, the rock and roll soundtracks, a high NRG masterpiece, the revolutionary animation, or a dozen of other reasons. The movie is fondly remembered by the fans of old, and is still being discovered on a daily basis for a new generation. Blah 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 blah. So the next page it actually breaks it down. So the reconstruction, which here we go. So the reconstruction for this reconstructed edited edition of the movie, we wanted to look at all aspects of the production quality. Initially, the film had been released in cinemas in 1986, with the original image cropped top to bottom to create a widescreen format. Previous DVDs and VHS editions of the movie, which is where I seen it, had either been 4:3 pan and scan or had carried the cropped widescreen. Often the image was scattered in addition to cropping. For our new telecane, we wanted to show the entire image the animators meant for you to see. There is no convenient way to refer to this non-standard format film transfer. However, the process we applied can be described thus: 35mm film has a negative aspect ratio of 1.33.1. The 35mm negative has been shot by several different animators using various size gates. Therefore, the framing is inconsistent. The image below shows the initial telecane appearance, and you can see the edge of the colorization invisible throughout the actual edges created in the shot. And then it goes on from there. I'm not going to go into too much because we're already 5 minutes into this review and haven't even fucking properly talked about the film. So, yeah, how did this hold up? How did the reconstructed hold up? Not great, if I'm being honest. I didn't notice any difference, except for some scenes definitely seemed to be a lot more oversaturated than others. So that did take me out of the film when those scenes did happen. But aside from that, just as I had when I was a kid, I love this film. It's a really good Transformers film. It's a brilliant Transformers film. Yeah, of course it is sad that they had to kill off a lot of G1 characters to incorporate this new wave, killing off Optimus and a bunch of other people that fans of the 80s Transformers films grew to love, and as well, I don't even think I expected Optimus to die off so soon. I expected, as I was watching the film, for the first time, I expected him to come back. I didn't expect, Hot Rod to become Rodimus Prime. And then, of course, as well, this is actually my first introduction to Leonard Nimoy. Yes, Spock from Star Trek. Yes, I am going to use this as an excuse to bring up Star Trek in this video. Because if you watch my channel a lot, you know I love Star Trek. I mean, just look at my Star Trek and Doctor Who shelf. You think I wasn't going to mention it? Of course I was going to mention it. But anyway, he voices Galvatron in this movie only. When it came for Galvatron's appearance in the season 2 or season 3 of the G1 cartoon, the original Megatron voice actor came back to voice Galvatron then. But still, I love, as I said, this is my first introduction to Leonard Nimoy. But yeah, no, I definitely really did enjoy rewatching this film because I had forgotten a lot of it. Of course I remembered some things like the Sharkticons, obviously Rodimus Prime getting the Matrix of Leadership, Galvatron, Unicron, who I only learned recently enough as of, when I watched this, that is the voice of Orson Welles. I never knew that until surprisingly recently enough. But yeah, everyone was, the voice cast was on point. Love seeing the Dinobots again, of course, because I remember actually watching the G1 episode where the Dinobots showed up, and then of course Grimlock was my favorite out of them, and yeah, it just brought back a lot of nostalgic feelings of watching the G1 cartoon as a kid. It definitely wasn't the as I said, it was the re-release of the G1 show, but still that's what festered my love for Transformers. And then of course I would watch the Michael Bay stuff. I watched Transformers, the animated series, I believe that's what it was called. I actually have my laptop up here so I can look that up. Transformers, the animated series. Is that the one I'm thinking of? Yes, Transformers animated. Sorry, yeah, Transformers animated was one that I got really big into when that came out in the same year, 2007. I remember watching that on Cartoon Network. And actually, that Christmas of 2007, getting a bunch of the toys for Transformers animated, and I think I might have seen one or two episodes of Transformers Armada. Again, I can't remember going back that far, but still, because of G1, my watching G1, that festered my love of Transformers to this day. Like on my own time, I watched Transformers 1, and I loved that. I kind of wish I had gone to see it in cinema, especially now since we're not getting it anymore. And then of course, recently enough, this month, we've heard that Michael Bay is coming back to direct a Transformers film. So that's something. He hasn't come back to the franchise since The Last Night, which is the only of the Bay movies that I have not watched. I haven't watched any of the other ones, like Bumblebee or Beast Wars. I haven't watched any of those. I probably should watch those, eventually. But yeah, that is going to wrap up this review. I really enjoyed this film. I really enjoyed actually getting to rewatch it. And yes, that's basically gonna do it for us. So thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll catch you all and on Friday for another brand new upload. I'll catch you all next time.